Hello. I just wanted to do a video so I can show you that I also did a note for including my my own 5-step plan. Throughout the whole environmental changes, even though it was incredibly boring and the guy was just like had absolutely no change in his voice, it was very dull, it was very flat. I went through it 3 times, and by the 3rd time I was like, oh my god, I could probably do this by myself. Like, this is a lot of information and I probably already understand it. But it was very interesting to see how I translated it versus the actual transcript. I definitely left out the introduction because to me that was the part where it was least informational. It was pretty much an introduction. It's kind of like that first sentence in the in an essay that draws a person in, rather than the actual, like, the root, the information that's actually important, which he got into later on, which I eventually did write down because that was the information that needed to be heard. Not, hey, my name is this, this, and this, I did this, and this, and this, and this. No, that's junk. You don't, it's not important. So for number 1 for the study questions, I stated that he does give a thesis in the beginning. He gives like an overlook. Okay, this is what I'm going to cover. This is what's going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. My name is this. Blah, blah, blah. Gives a short, sweet, nice. Number 2, he begins to speak about the ozone layer. Begins to speak about, okay, this is what's happening. This is what has happened. This is what's going to happen, kind of thing. He gives very specific details, very specific dates. He doesn't give specific scientists' names, which to me is kind of a little bit odd. It doesn't really give, okay, factual information, which is definitely really needed when you're making this kind of video that's informational, especially if it's an informational video, whether you're doing an essay, a presentation, a etc., etc. You need to make sure you have specific names, specific dates, specific settings, and have that MLA citation or APA citation along with it, so you prove to yourself that not only did you do the work, not only did you do the research, but then again, that what you're saying is correct, and that's really important as well. So that was number 2. Then for number 3, the study questions, I said that he used not really specific dates. He used dates and he used scientists, and then he went back on things that he has read or things that obviously he has heard of. It doesn't seem all that factual, but he does seem like he does know what he's talking about. It does also seem that he's reading this off of a list too. It was very boring. Number 4, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but definitely looked back and I realized, wow, like I missed out on a lot of important information. And not only that, I realized that I missed out on a lot of the introduction. And I think it's because in my brain, hey, who gives a crap? Like, this doesn't make any sense. This is not important information. This is just a short and sweet introduction. This is not the meat and potatoes to the video, which is the most important to it. Let's go to just a 5-step follow-up with and hold on a second. I'm gonna pause it for. Am I back on? Okay, so with the 5-step follow-up that is included and really referenced towards me, not only did I do it towards like the video, you'll see that because I'll upload it with the PDF, but for me, I saw with my own eyes that this video was definitely made to inform. It was definitely made to educate. It was definitely made to whoever the audience is, whether it's old people, young people, middle-aged people, people who are in college, people who are in high school. I think it was definitely more to high school age. It definitely did not say the college standard, mostly because to me, when I read something, it is definitely factual. This was not as factual as it could have been. He said a lot of science and science and science and science. 1980s science and science and science. It's like, no, you need to give me the specific science, you need to give scientists, you need to give me the specific date, and you need to give me the specific time frame of when this happened. And that's really important. So seeing the different age groups that this is included or intended for really helps me, because for as an interpreter, if I'm going to sit down with a 8-year-old boy who's deaf, it's going to be a lot different than sitting with a older man who has a master's and a PhD degree who is in the hospital. Like, those two different scenarios are going to be a huge effect on me. I could do both either way, mostly because I've been doing it for 20 years of my life. But I also have 2 cousins who are younger. I have parents who are deaf. I have uncles and aunts. I have a lot of deaf friends who are older. And I can tell you right now that I do not sign the same with my cousins to my mom. I do not sign the same to my cousins to my older friends who have master's and PhD degrees and who are teachers at UW in Seattle. Like, I do not sign to them the same. And this is kind of like that same understanding of, okay, what can I do for my language to fit for their language? Because my signing skills are right on. I'm a good signer. I have no problem with signing. But for interpreting wise, it's a whole different story. With interpreting with a 8-year-old boy to with a 6-year-old man, it's got to be different. And it's something that I don't think I've already mastered, but something that I could definitely practice on and become the best ever. It's different. Like, it's how the book translated it from my own perspective for when I'm interpreting. It's kind of cool how you can see that. Going down. So just developing a plan, I guess I can say, for action based on your analysis and assessment. Yeah. So I kind of went through all the steps just within that short thing. Okay, so to develop a plan and action of how I can improve with my interpreting skills from this unit 6.2. Excuse me, if I can actually speak English, it'd be nice. Pretty much for me is just improving the skill. I already have the skill. I've already mastered the skill, but just improving it and making sure that it is to the standard of what my professors want me to teach, my professors want me to interpret. And not only that, but for when I actually go into the field, that I am interpreting not only to my best abilities, but to interpret and to interpret correctly and interpret and match their, not only to interpret obviously, but to match their language is what I think really what I got out of this. Which I don't know if any of the other college people doing the same class really got from it, but I have literally like dug really deep into this, really thought about this, and this is what I pulled from it. And mostly because of the transcription versus to what I wrote when I heard stuff. And realizing that I missed a lot of it, and I missed a decent amount of it. When you go through this, it was like 94 sentences. I definitely did not write 94 sentences. You can see that in my uploads. Which to me it looks, oh wow, I need to take a step back and I need to really realize, okay, what did I miss? Did I miss the important stuff? Did I miss the junk that doesn't really need to be included? What did I miss? And so going back and really reviewing this really helps me in the long run, because I see, okay, this is what I need to work on. I need to stop cutting out the ands and the buts and then this and then that. I need to include them, not only include them, but include them in the best way possible, so it's not a whole bunch of junk, but so it's a transitioning, so that way I'm interpreting in the most professional way as possible. So that's how the action plan is included to me. So I hope that I did everything right this time, and thank you.